what you think about me. I don't care what you say about me. You're not in the position that I'm in to even be on the same level of me, you know? And I don't say reach. He got like a 60 something, you know? He's wider than me, but that's it. So I'm like, it match up. It matches up.
It's their levels and their stars and superstars. Okay, and they made the championship, not the championship made them. So it's way different, you know. Like I come and I do my career, and I fight with Coro and with the Klaus, and I fight with Mayweather with the Klaus, and I fight with everybody to build my Canelo Alvarez. I am right now. I can do whatever I want.
Right. In a recent face-to-face interview with Canelo, Terence Crawford shared that he's going all out in training for their upcoming fight. He's not cutting any corners and is putting everything into this historic matchup. Crawford is aiming to make boxing history by becoming the first male fighter in the four-belt era to become undisputed champion in 3 different weight divisions. He's completely focused and understands just how tough this challenge is. While he respects the risks, Crawford is confident in what he brings to the ring. He highlighted his speed, reach, and sharp fight intelligence as the tools he believes will help him figure out and beat Canelo.
I've been criticized, and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate. So what would they be able to say with me going up 2 weight classes? If Canelo become undisputed again and I beat Canelo, what could they say? They'll say something, but
Crawford's confidence isn't just talk, it's backed up by skill. He has a rare mix of sharp technique and real knockout power, which has made him a tough challenge for every fighter he's faced. Talking about his strengths, Crawford said, "I feel I've got the speed over Canelo. I've got the reach. He might have the size and power, but I believe my boxing skills are better." That's not just bravado, it's a clear, thoughtful breakdown of how he sees the matchup. One of Crawford's biggest advantages is his ability to switch stances and smoothly move between offense and defense. That kind of versatility is something most fighters, including Canelo, haven't dealt with in a long time. This mix of smart strategy and raw ability has helped Crawford rise through the ranks, from lightweight to welterweight, beating champions in each division. His last fight against Errol Spence Jr. was a perfect example. It showed off his timing, control of distance, and power. That performance left no doubt about why he's considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing today.
And on his part, and then you get to see Canelo and see if he's able to maintain the 168-pound division. You know, he's been there for quite some time, and we've seen Canelo go up to 75 to fight Bivol. It didn't look too well for him, you know, but we'll see. I think it's a great matchup. Obviously, Canelo has to do his part in winning and collecting another belt to become undisputed once again in that weight class against William Skull. So it's a great matchup. I think that is definitely eye-pleasing for the crowd.
Even with the clear weight difference, Crawford isn't backing down. He tackled the issue directly, saying, "My arms are long, I'm strong, and honestly, I think people underestimate just how strong I really am." Yes, we're fighting at his weight, and he knows that, but let's see if it's as easy as he says. Those words hit right at the core of this fight. Canelo, despite his power and pressure, has had trouble with fighters who know how to use their reach and stay sharp for all 12 rounds. One of the best examples? Floyd Mayweather, the only one to give Canelo a clear loss, did it by staying disciplined, using his range, and controlling the pace. Crawford sees a similar path. He's betting on his ring smarts, quick footwork, and ability to make Canelo pay for every mistake.
Patience and a very strong fighter, you know, facing him off. He's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. One punch at a time. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too good.
Canelo isn't taking this fight lightly. Fresh off a hard-fought 12-round win over William Skull to keep his undisputed title, he's staying sharp and focused. He's well aware of what's at stake. Canelo said, "Just look at everything he's achieved, and look at what I've done." When two fighters with that kind of resume face off, it's huge. For Canelo, this is more than just another title defense, it's a chance to add a major name to his record and further lock in his legacy. Beating a fighter like Crawford, who's moving up in weight and already considered one of the greats, could make this one of the most important victories of his entire career.
Terence Crawford. Do you think it'll add to your legacy, the fight with Crawford?
Yeah, he's a really good fighter. 2 times undisputed champion. He accomplished so much. So can add a lot to my career.
Canelo believes this upcoming fight could carry even more historical weight than his 2013 clash with Floyd Mayweather, and he may be right. Back then, Canelo was an undefeated rising star, still learning and developing his style. He was outmatched by Mayweather's skill and defensive brilliance, a loss he said taught him some of the most important lessons of his career. Fast forward more than a decade, and Canelo is now a fully developed fighter. He's won titles in 4 weight divisions and built an impressive resume, with wins over top names like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Callum Smith. He's smarter in the ring, more disciplined, and incredibly dangerous, especially at super middleweight, where he feels most comfortable. Still, as Crawford pointed out, styles matter, and so far, no one has figured out how to beat him. Crawford's unique approach may be the biggest test Canelo has faced in years.
You know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, is Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter? So I just started looking into it.
This fight is just as fascinating as the physical. Crawford isn't coming in just to survive against the bigger man, he plans to take control. His trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, put it plainly, "I'm seeing the holes in his game, and I know how to attack him." This isn't just tough talk, it's a smart strategy. Crawford and his team are focused on exposing Canelo's habits, especially his tendency to stand flat-footed and rely on power punches. Their game plan centers around quick footwork, sharp counters, and constant movement, all aimed at throwing Canelo off his rhythm. Combined with Crawford's rock-solid confidence, this approach could create real problems for Canelo, who's used to breaking opponents down with pressure and power.
All right, I'll even do it for you. A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to when you had certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab.
Crawford's training camp may also be getting a major boost. Reports suggest he could bring in Israil Madrimov as a sparring partner, a move similar to what Dmitry Bivol did before his surprise win over Canelo in 2022. Madrimov is known for his toughness, aggressive style, and sharp ring IQ. He helped Bivol prepare by mimicking Canelo's pressure and pace, which played a key role in Bivol's dominant unanimous decision victory. When asked if he'd work with Crawford, Madrimov replied, "Yes, because I need more practice for my next fight. If he's calling, no problem." This could be a smart addition to Crawford's camp. Sparring with someone who can apply real pressure and still challenge him technically might be exactly what Crawford needs to fine-tune his plan against Canelo.
Ask you to help him for Canelo, would you? Если Canelo тебя попросит помочь в спаррингах, ты согласишься?
Yes, yeah, because I needed more practice for my next fight. If he's calm, no problem.
Do you think Terence can beat Canelo?
If 12 rounds, maybe yes, because very technical.
Even as he prepares to step into the ring at 168 pounds, deep in Canelo's territory, Crawford isn't showing any signs of concern about the physical challenge ahead. He's been closely watching Canelo's recent fights, including the tough 12-round bout against William Skull. In that match, Canelo had a hard time connecting clean shots on a constantly moving target. Out of 152 punches thrown, only 56 landed, a stat that hasn't gone unnoticed by Crawford. Reflecting on the fight, he said, "Skull moved a lot. He neutralized Canelo's power punches well. He was boxing well, and then he stopped." That comment makes Crawford's game plan clear: keep Canelo moving, take away his power shots, and force him into a long, uncomfortable fight. He's ready to test Canelo's stamina, patience, and ability to adapt over 12 rounds.
Canelo power punches, he was just moving a lot.
Do you think that's like a style you have to employ at points of the fight?
I don't know, because if you watch the styles that beat him, they didn't move a lot. You know, they move a little bit, but not as much as William Skull.
There's a rumour going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
Still, not everyone is convinced that Crawford's confidence will be enough. Amir Khan, who shared the ring with both fighters, issued a clear warning. Khan, who was knocked out by Canelo in a catchweight bout, didn't mince words. Canelo is a beast, man. I fought both of those guys, and I feel like size always wins. There's a reason we have weight divisions. While Khan praised Crawford's talent, he questioned whether it's worth the risk. Terence is special, don't get me wrong, he said. But getting hit by a guy like Canelo is a different story. Despite the caution from those who've been there, Crawford remains locked in. He's fully embracing the risk, chasing not just victory, but a chance at making history on the biggest stage.
Yeah, I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is the beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
However, not everything is as straightforward as it seems coming out of Crawford's camp. His trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, recently raised eyebrows by expressing concerns about the potential for biased judging in Crawford's upcoming fight with Canelo Alvarez. This isn't just typical pre-fight talk about strategies and training. McIntyre is directly calling out boxing's often questionable scoring practices, especially in high-profile bouts featuring the sport's biggest stars. His comments highlight a real worry about the possibility of an unfair decision, which could influence the way both Crawford and his camp approach the fight mentally, even before they step into the ring.
It's a stylistic matchup, you know, and William Skull don't fight nothing like Terence Crawford. So we're not going to see the same type of fight come September. I think we're going to see a great fight, real good fight.
You and Terence have always had like a good relationship, but if he makes Canelo come off the titles, is he on your radar then in the division?
Yeah, I mean, all the top super middleweights are on my radar. You know, I want to face the best, and you know, a lot of fighters say that, but I don't feel like a lot of them have shown and proved that. I feel like I've shown and proved that. So.
McIntyre brought up this concern during an interview with Mill City Boxing, where he admitted, "This is the only thing that sometimes worries me, the name Canelo. If the fight is close, will we get a fair shake?" It's a powerful statement, especially coming from a trainer known for his no-nonsense approach. The message is clear. McIntyre fears that even if Crawford puts on a performance deserving of a win, the judges might still favor Canelo, who has a reputation for receiving favorable scorecards in closely contested fights.
You're going to stop Canelo Alvarez.
I don't got to stop him. I just got to beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. You know, when I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in division. You know, being that these big guys is slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. You know, they might catch him with